Hey kids, my name's Kevin, but you can call me Firefighter Duck, and welcome to the Satellite Beach Fire Station. Today we're going to talk a little bit about fire safety, that it's Fire Prevention Week, and the rule number one is, whenever you have a problem, who are we going to call? It's 911. And we don't just call 911 just for fires, right? We're going to call if there's a medical emergency, if there's something wrong with somebody at home, if they're too sick or they're just not acting right, we always want to call 911. But one of the biggest points is, when you do call 911, you have to know two things. You have to know your address and your telephone number. So that's going to be some homework for you today. You have to go home, and if you don't know it already, you want to know your address. That's your street address. I live at 116 Carissa in Satellite Beach. So that's going to be my home address, and then you want to know your telephone number. That way, if the person on the phone has to hang up or you get disconnected, they can call you back, okay? So that's going to be your homework, and you'll notice I'm wearing my mask too. I know we're all in masks right now, and it's cool to be in a mask. Okay, so we all know that fire is dangerous, and we don't want to play with anything that can make a fire. So if we find lighters or matches, what are we going to do? That's right, we're going to tell your parents, okay? So if we find it, we leave it where it is, we're going to go tell a grown-up, whether it's your teacher, your babysitter, your parents or your grandparents. We want to make sure we tell them so that way they can get it and put it away so that way nobody gets hurt. Alright, now if there is a fire, there can be lots of smoke and loud noises, so we want to make sure that we have a plan to get out of the house safely. And if there is smoke, we want to get low and we want to stay low, because the smoke's going to be here, and we want to stay low so we can see and we can get out, because we don't want to breathe that smoke in. So I get low and I'm going to crawl. And I'm just going to crawl my way all the way outside, okay? And we're not going to stop and go for our pets or anything else. We want to get low and get out. That's the whole plan. Okay, now that we've talked about how to get out of your house real low under that smoke, remember I said we want two ways to get out, okay? And you want two ways because if one way is trapped, if there's fire there blocking your way, we want to make sure we have another strategy to get out. So you get to give your parents homework tonight, and you get to go home and say, hey mom, hey dad, or grandma or grandpa, and you get to make them sit down with you and have an escape plan, okay? And later on, maybe this week, we'll have a nice sheet for you that you can draw on and make an escape plan. And you should practice that at least once a month. At my home, we have smoke detectors go off, I press the button, and it goes beep, 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 beep. And my kids know to drop what they're doing, and they exit the house. And you should have a meeting plan. So when you leave your home, you know that you have to go either to your neighbor's house or a tree, so that way they know where to find you, okay? But stay out of the road, because there's going to be a lot of people coming very fast to help you. All right? So the next thing we want to talk about is maybe if you're around a campfire, right? Because those are fun here in Florida. We can go out on the beach and have a campfire. Or we're just trying to get out of our home and maybe our pants catch on fire, okay? So we need to know what to do if our clothes catch on fire. We want to do what you guys already know what to do, right? We're going to stop, drop, and roll. So the first step is I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I go to the ground, I drop, and I'm going to cover my face. I'm going to make a little cup with my hands like this, and that's going to cover my face so that way I don't breathe in all that smoke, okay? I want to protect my mouth and my lungs because those are important. And I'm going to drop to the ground, and then I'm going to start rolling. I'm going to roll right, and then I'm going to roll left. And if I hit something, I just turn and go the other way, okay? So I'm going to practice. I'm going to go right, and if I hit this, I stop and I go left, and I want to keep rolling until someone says, hey, the fire's out. And then I want to get back up if I'm still inside, and I make my way out by crawling. I'm going to stay low, and I'm going to go, okay? So what you can do is you can practice that. If you can't practice where you are now, make sure you do when you go home to make sure that you know what to do in case your clothes do catch on fire. Okay, so now we're going to show you what a firefighter looks like when they have their gear on. Because remember, we talked about when you have a fire, it can be kind of scary. There's loud noises, you don't know where to go if you are trapped. We don't ever want to hide, right? We want to make sure that we make ourselves visible so that way we can see the firefighters and they can see us, okay? So we're going to show you what we're going to look like so that way you don't have to be scared, okay? Remember, if you see a firefighter, we're your friend, all right? So this is Miss Abby. She's a firefighter here at Satellite, and she's going to show you what she looks like with all this on, and I'll explain it to you. But right now, Abby's going to take her mask off because we're far enough away, and it's very hot under all that gear, so I want her to be able to breathe really well. All right? So first she has her boots, and if you notice, she takes her boots off, and some of us have zippers. That way all we have to do is kick our boots off. So then she gets into her bunker pants, right? And you'll notice that her boots are actually inside of her pants already. So she just slips her legs in, and she's going to pull them up. And right there by the suspenders, you know why firefighters have suspenders? It's just to hold their pants up, because you eat lots of cookies like me, and your belly gets bigger and then it shrinks like hers. Okay, so now that she has her pants on and they're fastened, she's going to go ahead and put this on. This is called a Nomex. It's a hood. She's going to put it on so that way her head and her neck and ears are covered. Okay? She pulls it down real quick so that way she can get the rest of her gear on. And she's going to go ahead and get her bunker coat. Alright? It's like a big coat for the winter when you go in the snow. And she slides her hands in. And you'll notice her wrists have these little things on them so that way it doesn't fall off. Okay? She zips it up, and these are very thick. So that way it protects us from all that heat. But a common question is, can it catch on fire? And it actually can. It's not fireproof. It just protects us for a little while, so we have to be safe too. All right, Abby, what's next? We're going to take this. She has her air pack. I like to call that my backpack, right? What's in your backpack? You probably got lunch, a snack. Abby has air. That big metal tank holds all the air that she'll need to breathe inside of a fire, so she's not breathing in all that smoke and hot air. Okay, so she buckles up, right? Because that's the law, we gotta buckle our seat belts. Okay? So she tightens all her straps down so that way it only wiggles a little bit and it stays nice and tight. And then, if you have someone that can, they're gonna turn it on. So you're gonna hear a noise when it turns on. That lets us know that it's working. So that's all the air filling in her mask. But if Abby stays quiet for about 30 seconds, ready? This is going to be the quietest part of the video. If she stays real still, it's going to start making a noise, and it's going to get louder and louder and louder. That's if Miss Abby were to fall down and get trapped, and she stops moving, we'd be able to find her by following the sound. Ready? Okay, so it's going to keep doing that, so that way we can find her. She can turn it off because she's okay. Another way, if it starts to make that noise and Abby goes, whoops, I gotta move, she just wiggles her butt, and then that noise will stop. Okay, so what's next, Abby?
Put our mask on.
Alright, we're gonna put our mask on. For those of you that have seen Star Wars, you know Darth Vader? That's what she's gonna sound like. When she puts all this on, it's gonna make her very hard to hear. Her voice will get a little muffled, so we have to yell a little louder so that way you can hear us. She's going to strap it right onto her head, and she's going to pull them real tight so it doesn't come off. And then the next thing she'll do is she'll pull that hood back over to cover all of her ears and her hair, because we don't want any skin showing. The only part of a firefighter you should be able to see is going to be in their face under that plastic right there. Okay? So she pulls that over, and she's going to make sure all this is covered, okay? And then she's going to grab her helmet, and she's going to put that on, and that's to protect her head. If something were to fall, or she were to run into something, her head is protected. See, you keep hearing that sound, but all she has to do is wiggle, and it turns it off. And she wants to put her chin strap on, because that's going to lock that helmet right to her head. And then we have one more thing showing. What is that? It's going to be her hand. She's got to put gloves on. And once she has the gloves on, we'll have her put what's called the regulator so she can breathe the air. And it takes a little time, and Abby has to be able to do this in 1 minute. Do you think you could get dressed in 1 minute? It's difficult, and she has to do it anytime there's a fire. And then we get on the call and we rush over to you. Okay, so now that Abby's all dressed, Abby, can you say something for us?
Hey guys.
You see how difficult it is to hear? So she has to yell, right? And it's difficult right now, but wait till she puts this on. Ready? So you hear that noise, That's her breathing the air. So now if she were to say something,
Hi guys.
it's very hard to hear. So we have these cool things over here called amplifiers. And when she turns it on, it allows you to hear her voice a little more. So if she yells inside of a fire and she says, "Fire department, anybody in here?" You're gonna go, "I'm over here, I'm over here." And I want you to get up if you're at your desk or you're at home, and I want you to practice that right now, okay? It's okay to be loud, your teachers won't be mad at you. So when she says, "Fire department, anybody here?" you get up and yell and say, "I'm over here." You want us to see you and you want us to hear you. All right, so we're gonna try. Are you ready? Abby, go.
Fire department, is anyone here?
All right, there you, oh, you can do better than that. Let's try one more time. All right, Abby, make it good. We're gonna say, "Fire department, anyone here?" And you yell, "I'm over here, I'm over here." All right, are you ready? Last try.
Fire department, is anyone there?
All right, good job. So now we can find you, and what are we gonna do now? Now that Abby's found you, she's gonna get low under that smoke, and she's gonna stay low, and you're gonna follow her all the way out the door. We're only gonna go a little bit right here, but I would follow her all the way out, okay? So when Abby stands up, she looks like a totally different person. All you can see is right here of her eyes. So you may not recognize her, but now that you know what we look like, these are your friends, and we're here to help. So now it's time to show you around the fire station. It's now that we're done with the class, and if you notice, this is actually where we all sleep. But if we look around, you won't actually see any beds. That's because they're all in the wall here. So as we pull these down, that's where we sleep. And I sleep over here. So when I'm asked to make my bed in the morning, I just fold it up. And I like the Ninja Turtles because I'm a big kid. All right, so when my chief says, "Hey, make your bed," whoop, I'm all done. Okay, so now we're gonna move out this way. And we'll keep that door open and we'll come this way. And this is gonna be the captain's office. He runs the shift, that's Captain Scott. And that's Nick, Firefighter Nick. All right, and if we come this way, you'll see that we live here for 24 hours at a time. So I come in at 7 in the morning and I leave at 7 o'clock the next day. So you see we sit down as a family, and if we want to watch TV at night, this is where we do it. Okay, and I come here, and just like at home, we have to cook and eat. So we eat as a family on our table, and we have 3 different fridges. How about that? So we have an A shift, a B shift, and a C shift. So we all have different fridges, and that's where all of our stuff goes. And then we cook in the kitchen, and we all sit down together. But if we keep walking this way, we'll show you. We're gonna go down this long hallway. And then here, this is gonna be our community medics office. That's Miss Melanie.
Hi, how are you?
All right, she takes care of all the people at home when we run calls on them and they need extra help. She's the one that helps them and gets them all the stuff that they need. This is gonna be the front door. And we actually have a doorbell too, so if you're ever around the area and you need to get our attention, you just ring that doorbell out there and we can answer the door. And here's gonna be our waiting room, right? So if you have a problem and you need to come in and get help, we can treat you right here. Here's Miss Lisa. She's gonna answer all your phone calls, and if you have questions, she can answer them for you. And then we walk down this way. As we turn down here, you'll see our computer room. This is where we do all of our learning online, like you are right now. If we have classes to take, that's where we take them. Okay, and as we come down here, this is my boss's room. This is the chief's office. Okay, so that's where when you start to run the whole show, that's the office that you're going to take. This is just a big conference room so we can have meetings. As we come down this way, this is my deputy chief's office. All right, so that's where he is all the time, and he takes his classes, and we have to go in there when he has to tell us what to do. And this here is going to be another community medic, and also our fire inspector's office, and that's Captain Jay, and he's working as a community medic today. But if we come out this way, this is where the fun stuff is, all right? We come out this door, and there's a fire truck right here. So if we walk around the front, we come out here, here's the front of the station, and here's our big fire truck. this is the fire truck. And when we go to an emergency, you're gonna see those lights. And if you see the lights, you move to the right. That's the rule. So we'll show you around a little bit. This is where the driver's gonna sit, nice and high so they can see everything. And we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so moving on to the back, this is where anyone's gonna be. If we have extra firefighters, they're gonna be back here. And you can see that's Miss Abby's gear. And that's where she puts it when she's not on a fire call. And we'll come over here. So Abby's driving the truck today, so she's what's known as the engineer. So this will be her compartment. If we have a fire, she has to know what all these knobs do. And if you'll notice, they have different colors. That's what we call firefighter proof. So we can match up the yellow with the yellow down here. And we know that if we pull that lever, we're gonna get water in that hose. All right, so we move down. These are just different hoses, a bunch of different stuff that we would use. And we're just gonna kind of show you all the compartments so you can see what it looks like. And if you notice down here, if Miss Abby were to run out of air, we have extra bottles for her. So we can take that old one out and put a new one in. And here's some more tools. Here's all the cool stuff that you'd see, you know, when you think of a firefighter. You think of an axe, right? So we have all of our axes and sledgehammers and cool stuff in there. And as you come around, here's a big hose. When we use this, that means we get lots of water. We put that on the ground and we're gonna spray a big amount of water. If you notice, all these compartments, they open up. And we have just tools and tools and tools. And this is what we're gonna use if we have to cut a car up to help someone get out. We use these here. And that's gonna help us crunch that metal so we can get you out. And we'll come around this side and you'll notice it's just a bunch more tools. These are our power tools. We have a chainsaw here so we can cut roofs up. And we have what's known as a K12 so we can cut other stuff like metal and stuff like that. This is just a bunch more hose. If we have to go up one of these condos on the beach, we're gonna carry these on our backs, and that's how we get water all the way up there on the 8th floor. Remember, we talked very briefly, this is all of our medical equipment. So if someone's not acting right or they call us, this is what we're gonna use in your home. And believe it or not, this is the majority of our job. You know, we like to be called firefighters, but helping people is really what we do. Okay, and this is just gonna be the other side. The other side of where Abby has her gear. And as we come over here, this is where the captain sits. The man that's gonna make all the decisions on the shift. This is where he sits, and you'll notice he has a bunch of stuff. He's got his masks. We have a different mask for when we go on calls. He has his radio, a computer. This is how he talks on the radio, by using that there. And that's pretty much it. I want to thank you for coming today, and please remember, stay safe.